The story starts with a beautiful girl named Lin Yuking. Some time ago, her parents divorced, so the girl is forced to live with her father. Sadly, looking out the window, she notices a guy named Shen Huang, who seemed to her that more hooligans. After returning home, the girl has dinner with her father and stepmother. The woman treats Yujing well, but she still doesn't feel happy and wants to go back to her mother. The next morning, the girl goes to a jewelry store where she meets two strange guys and their partner, slightly scaring Yujing with their appearance and behavior. The girl asks to repair her silver bracelet, and it turns out that the shop is run by Huang. He is ready to fulfill the girl's request and repair the bracelet given to her by her mother. At the same time, hooligans appear on the doorstep of the jewelry shop and attack Huang and destroy the entrance part of the building. Huang and companions confront the bandits, but not everyone dares to go outside, having locked themselves in the restroom. Tired of waiting, Yujing takes the precious pen and writes a note promising to return it in exchange for the repair of the bracelet. Upon returning home, the girl learns that her mother has enrolled her in the city school, which means that she will have to live here for a while, and this upsets Yujing. After thinking about it, the girl realizes that her mother doesn't love her anymore and isn't particularly eager to see her. The next morning, Yujing goes to a new school and meets her teacher Liu. In the classroom, she meets Huang and his friend Wang. During class, a student named Liolin recommends that the girl stay away from Huang because he is a bad person. Instead of being afraid of the student and avoiding him, Yujing takes an interest in Huang since she likes him. A little later, the girl finds herself on the roof of the school, where she chats on the phone with her father and argues without finding common ground. At some point, she notices that a girl named Guzia is hurting Saruji. Seeing the injustice, Yujing defends the fragile schoolgirl, as a result of which they become good friends. In class, the girl gives Huan back his pen and leaves a small gift, which seems very sweet of her. Soon after, the girl's father and stepmother go traveling, so Yujing stays at home with her half-brother Ming, a fine lawyer and a man who pays no attention to his sister. Later, the girl goes to a cafe where she meets Huang and learns that the guy took the cat to the vet. He invites her to his house, after which he returns the repaired silver bracelet. In the meantime, the guy has his friends over and the company spends time as a foursome having dinner at the same table. A few minutes ago, the protagonist's uncle appears in the room, arguing over the rent with the tenants who have arrived. Juan pays the rent, but he has money problems, which leads to more conflicts. Hoping to help the guy, Yujing returns home and photographs some of his expensive clothes to put them up for sale. The next morning, Yujing offers to help Huang with the rent, but the guy politely declines. Then the girl lights up with a new idea for the guys working at the jewelry shop to offer people the opportunity to create their own jewelry and precious metal products. The next day, they prepare for the grand opening and welcome guests to create their own jewelry. Soon, a young couple shows up at the jewelry shop wanting to buy jewelry from the exhibition, but Juan firmly refuses them, leading to a small conflict. At the end of the working day, the friends recalculate the profits and realize that they have earned just under $300 and have a bunch of dissatisfied customers, which takes away their motivation to keep working. Despite the temporary difficulties, the next day presents dozens of clients, which allows them to earn good money and pay the rent for the apartment. After finding out what the schoolchildren are doing, the uncle asks them to stop working and focus on their jobs, as they are only 17 years old and have university entrance ahead of them, which cannot be ignored. The next morning, Yujing learns that the school is offering a scholarship to the best students, so she decides to study hard. Knowing Huang's problems, she offers to improve his grades so that the guy won't be expelled from school. Huang is skeptical about the idea, but his friend supports the girl, believing that they should improve their grades and prepare for adulthood. After several days of hard preparation, the long-awaited exam comes. Huang is very nervous and twirls his pen in his hand and starts to take the test, but he gets very tired and falls asleep during the exam. A couple of days later, the exam grades are published, according to which Yujing is one of the top 10 students, and Huang and his friend have scored the minimum required to avoid being kicked out of school. Soon after, the teacher congratulates the best students and asks them to apply for a scholarship. Here it turns out that only one of them will be able to get it, But the girl is ready for the difficulties and has no doubt that she can win. By some coincidence, the scholarship is awarded to Huang, but he refuses it in favor of Yujing. Realizing that her financial situation has improved, the girl hurries to rent a room in the dormitory to become fully independent, but this requires the signature of her parents. Yuqing decides to forge the signatures and asks her half-brother to help her, but he refuses. The girl then turns to Huang for help, but he too thinks it's a bad idea. A little later, the girl meets her best friend Luiya, who has moved to their town. He gives the girl a brochure and informs her that his former school provides free housing for students and they don't need to ask their parents' permission. Having also seen the brochure, Huang and his comrade rush to Yujing and ask Liu not to interfere in the girl's life or influence her. The boys quarrel and the stranger proposes to settle the dispute in a competition between their schools. Not wanting the girl to leave, Huang signs a document on behalf of her parents, but the girl is concerned that her deception may be exposed. In the evening, she meets with the guide and thanks him for his help, telling him that she does not want to live with her father. Huang suggests that she think it over again before making any responsible decisions. Soon the day of the long-awaited sports competition arrives. One of the competitors falls to the ground, but Huang has no intention of giving up. Being in last place, he runs as hard as he can and overtakes Liu, resulting in finishing first and winning. Yuqing tells her boyfriend that she has decided to stay in school, after which she returns home to pack her bags. Ming is against the girl leaving, but she is not going to listen to her younger brother and goes to the dormitory where her roommates are Guzia, Saruji, and Sichi. In the evening, the father returns home and goes to the hostel to talk to his daughter. The father raises his hand to his daughter, but one of the students defends her. Yuqing leaves to get some fresh air and meets a guy with whom she spends time together. A couple days later, the friends go to a small farm. Ming tells Huang about his father raising his hand against his sister and thanks the bully for keeping the girl safe. In the evening, the friends play truth or action, and after a few rounds, Huang takes the girl to a dark place. Suddenly a light comes on, and it turns out that he has led her to a field full of lights where Yuqing talks about her family problems. The next morning, the guy reveals his family's secrets and takes the girl to a hospital where he introduces her to a relative who is in a coma. Upon returning home, Yuqing fakes an argument with her half-brother to get her father to let her go live in the school dormitory. Guzia returns from a trip to Korea and gives her friends gifts, but Yuqing notices the receipt, realizing that it was all bought in China and the girl never traveled. Noticing that she has been exposed, Guzia runs away and cries, but Yuqing supports her crying friend and offers to go back. In the evening, a mysterious man named Singh appears at the jewelry shop. Upon seeing him, Han grabs the man by the neck and kicks him outside. The other day is Han's birthday, so his friends gather to prepare a surprise party. Everyone knows what they're getting for the guy, except for Yuqing, who turns to her roommate for help. After getting some helpful advice, Yuqing revisits old videos of Huang with his uncle and prepares the surprise. The next morning, the friends go to an amusement park where they compete in toy car races and have fun on other merry-go-rounds. At night, the friends organize a birthday dinner, but Huang learns that his uncle has gotten worse and has been moved to the operating room. Huang rushes to the hospital and Yuqing decides to keep the boy company to support him in his hour of need. The next morning, the doctor informs that the uncle has survived the surgery, but he is still in danger, so he needs constant monitoring in the coming days. Realizing that the time of exams is inexorably approaching, the schoolchildren decide to unite to prepare with joint efforts. Yuqing helps Huang in every possible way, hoping that he will do well in the exams. At the same time, the boy continues to visit his sick uncle and gives him a silver coin with angel wings. A couple of days later, Huang and Yuqing go to the fair, where they have a great time riding various rides. A little later, the guy shoots at the shooting range and wins a teddy bear for the girl, giving her not only a toy, but also a happy smile. In the morning, the teacher informs her about the upcoming parent-teacher conference, and Yuqing is worried because her relationship with her father is not good. She has achieved independence from her parents, so she asks Ming to play along and pretend to be her father. The plan could have worked, but Yuqing's mother shows up at school and congratulates her daughter on her good grades. The girl is angry at her mother for abandoning her, but the woman claims she will stay in town for a while. Yuqing realizes that this is due to financial problems, but the mother denies it. Needing support, Yuqing goes to see Huang at the jewelry store, and the guy suggests that the two of them celebrate the new year together. The next morning, the couple goes to the wishing tree, where they write their dreams on a red ribbon and hang it on one of the branches, hoping it will help attract good luck. After that, Huang proposes to the girl to enter the same university, to which she responds with a cute smile. In the evening, the friends gather to celebrate the new year. Yuqing leaves the table to meet Huang and does not suspect that her mother is watching her. Not wanting her daughter to get involved with a bad guy, the woman makes a hasty decision to return to her hometown and take Yuqing with her. Unwilling to do so, the girl turns to her father for help, but he doesn't support her as Yuqing doesn't want to live in the same house with him. The next morning, the girl goes to school and is sad when she learns from her teacher that he has spoken to her mother. The woman is determined to return her daughter to her hometown after she passes the final exams, and Yuqing thinks it's unfair because she's an adult and has the right to decide what she wants to do. A couple of days after the exams, the students learn that Yuqing and Huang have failed the exam. Despite this, the girl says goodbye to her companions, realizing that she and her mother will have to leave for another city. Huang was in the hospital at this moment, but after learning about what was happening, he rushed to the airport to try to stop Yuqing. The guy arrives at the airport, but too late as the plane with the girl leaves. A short while later, it is reported that the guy's relative has no more than a few months to live. The doctor suggests not to continue suffering and disconnect the equipment that keeps the man in coma alive. Huang needs support, but cannot talk to Yuqing as her mother took away her cell phone, forbidding to communicate with friends. Remembering the happy moments spent by his uncle's side, Huang signs the documents with tears in his eyes. In the evening, he finds a letter from Yuqing, thanking him for their time together. A few days later, Huang is forced to bury his uncle and visits the grave of his late mother, who left this world when he was a child. Finding an old landline phone, Yuqing tries to call the guy but can't remember his number, so she tries several combinations until she finds the right one, but the guy doesn't answer the call. The mother finds her daughter and demands to stop trying to call Huang, because it is better to forget about him once and for all. At the same time, the guy closes the jewelry store with sadness in his eyes, since this is a business that brought him not only pleasure, but also money. Giving up his job, Huang decides to focus on his studies. Almost a year later, it is time for the entrance exams. Huang and Yuqing, being in different schools, pass the exams and rejoice, realizing that they will study in the same city. Soon the girl is having difficulties again, as her mother wants her to attend a different university. Yuqing argues with her mother, resulting in the woman having to come to terms with her daughter's choice. Once at the university, the girl tries to find Huang and he does the same. Soon the pair meet in the heavy rain and it seems quite romantic. Despite this, Huang is still a little angry with Yuqing because she flew away without saying goodbye to him properly. In the evening, the girl goes to the university dormitory and learns that her roommates will be the good-natured Xiaomogu and Gosia, who already knows her from school. Understanding that she needs to win back her boyfriend's affection, Yuqing invites Huang on a romantic date to the movie theater, but it is not a success. The next morning, Yuqing meets another roommate named Wen, who offers to celebrate her university entrance. In the evening, the four friends have drinks at a nightclub, after which Yuqing goes to a jewelry store, hoping to meet Huang. Upon meeting her boyfriend, she apologizes for leaving without saying goodbye and cries, begging him to forgive her. Huang embraces and forgives the girl as he is touched by her words and sincerity. Waking up with a pain in her head, Yuqing remembers everything she did drinking the previous night, so she tries to hide from her boyfriend. After finding the girl at the university, Huang gives her hangover juice, which surprises Yuqing. In the evening, she decides to ask Huang what kind of girls he likes, but he doesn't reply to her message. A couple days later, Yuqing watches a guy play basketball and wholeheartedly supports him. After winning, the prettiest female student approaches Huang and offers the guy a bottle of water. Soon after, he gives the beauty a bracelet, which makes Yuqing feel jealous. A little later, Huang invites the girl to take a walk to their old school, where they succumb to pleasant memories of jointly experienced events. At night, he explains that he has nothing with the university beauty, and the bracelet he gave her is not a gift, but a piece of jewelry that he had to repair. Seeing the fireworks and thinking it was the right moment, Huang finally musters up the courage to take Yujing's hand, after which the couple kiss passionately. A couple of days later, rumors begin to surface at the university that Huang and Yujing are in a relationship. Huang writes to the girl and asks her to be more careful not to provoke anyone into a conflict over the fact that they are happy. In the afternoon, the girl neighbors go to a small concert on the beach, where Yujing takes the stage to sing her favorite song. Noticing Huang, she dedicates the song to him. Soon, Huang suggests that the boy join the university's varsity shooting sports team, but Huang refuses. Overhearing the conversation, Yujing wonders why he doesn't want to play sports. Huang states that he's tired of losing, since he hasn't been successful or won any awards on any team or in any sport. Yujing supports the guy, stating that everyone should have a dream and fight for it. These words force Huang to change his mind and start fighting for a better future. A while later, the girl shows the guy the script of confessing to his friends that they are a couple in love, but it seems that Huang is not comfortable with the idea. In the evening, Yujing and her friends go to a cafe for dinner, where she meets Huang and his companions. During the dinner, the guy decides to confess in front of everyone that he is in love with Yujing and apologizes for not saying it earlier. The friends are genuinely happy for the couple and suggest they kiss, which embarrasses Yujing and Huang. A little later, Huang meets Yujing and asks her to influence the guy to join the shooting sports team, and she agrees to help. The next morning, the girl goes to Huang's house and notices trophies and photos from the competition in one of the rooms. She realizes that in the past he was a successful athlete, but now for some reason he gives up sports. The friends meet again, but this time to discuss opening a jewelry store. Having found a suitable building, they begin to clean and prepare for work. In the evening, when Yujing is alone, a guy shows up to tell them that he is the true owner of the jewelry store, since the previous owner lost his life due to Huang's fault. Before he can explain the details, Huang appears in the store, pushing the stranger out into the street. Huang tells his favorite girl that his mother abandoned him, leaving with her new husband for Africa when the boy was 8 years old. His uncle taught him the art of jewelry and tried to give him a good upbringing. Huang excelled in sports and started shooting. He achieved a lot of success, but one day everything changed. Huang was at an important city competition when his uncle had a terrible accident and ended up in a coma. Not being there at the right moment, Huang felt guilty, so he gave up sports, focusing on taking care of his uncle and working in a jewelry store. A couple of days later, the girl meets a guy who hands her a box of Huang's belongings so she can familiarize herself with them. The next morning, the couple travels to the late uncle's hometown. After finding his house, Yujing and Huang find children's diaries and books with which the uncle tried to cheer up his nephew. Upon returning home, Yujing holds a mini exhibition, which results in her and her friends winning a prize and the opportunity to put their jewelry work on public display. Soon after, Yujing shows her boyfriend a strange bracelet that had a flash drive hidden in it, containing a rather emotional video of her uncle pleading with his nephew to fulfill his dreams. Inspired, Huang gives an interview regarding his late uncle, calling him a good man. Instead of opening a jewelry store, the guy gives the keys to the building to his cousin. The next day, Huang puts on his uncle's bracelet and joins a shooting sports team. The guy has lost his shooting skills over the years without practicing, so the coach decides to give him a couple of useful drills. The guy starts practicing hard, but his fitness is also worse than the other students. Despite this, Huang is not going to give up and trains hard, subjecting himself to physical tests to become stronger and more enduring. His friends take care of the athlete, regularly leaving him food and water. Soon the first competition comes and Huang unexpectedly wins, resulting in him becoming part of the university team, but it seems that not everyone is happy about it, especially Captain Ning. During one of the practices, the coach points out his poor gun-holding technique and asks Huang to be more focused. Soon Huang moves into the team's dormitory and checks into the room where their captain lives. Due to studying and training, the couple has almost no time, but the guy organizes a romantic date for Yujing to be alone together. A couple of days later, the couple prepares to go on a trip together, but at that moment Yujing gets a call from her mother asking her to come home urgently. Believing that something has happened, the girl says goodbye to Huang and takes the first flight to her mother. As it turned out, the mother is dissatisfied with her daughter's poor grades and the chosen educational institution. Being interested in her daughter's personal life, she learns that the girl is in a relationship, and this leads to an even greater conflict. As a result, the mother promises to send her daughter abroad to be away from Huang. Angry, Yujing leaves her mother a silver bracelet given earlier and promises that they will never meet again, after which she returns to the university. In the meantime, his mother becomes ill with sharp pains in her abdomen. The next morning, Yujing wakes up in the expensive hotel where Huang took her the day before. The girl does not feel well because of a high fever, so the guy gives her some pills and a glass of water, after which the couple goes to the hospital. Huang is late, and the coach punishes him by making him run on the soccer field. This is also where he is spotted by his cousin, who is unhappy that Huang has returned to training. At the same time, Yujing's mother learns that she has been found to have a tumor and may lose her life if she doesn't have emergency surgery. While Huang continues to prepare for the competition, Yujing returns to her mother's house reporting that her boyfriend is a bully who beat a man to the point where he almost lost his life. Yujing denies all of this, claiming that Huang is good and she has no intention of breaking up with him. The mother gets nervous and falls to the floor, losing consciousness. Soon she is taken to the hospital and the doctor informs Yujing's mother of her diagnosis. The girl asks her mother to perform the operation, but the woman is only willing to do so on the condition that Yujing breaks up with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, Huang participates in the first competition between the schools, and their team loses. In the morning, Yujing asks his father to help find a good surgeon for his mother, but the man doubts the right decision and then makes an agreement with the specialist. While Huang is training hard, Yujing spends all his time in the hospital with his mother. At night, the couple talks on the phone, but not for very long, which worries Huang. After calling Ming, he learns that Yujing's mother is sick. The mother learns that Yujing has asked her father to find a doctor and refuses the surgery. Yujing cries as she suddenly notices Huang in the hospital and throws herself on his neck. Upon meeting the girl's mother, Huang informs her that he loves her and would do anything to be by her side. After talking to the mother, Huang and Yujing sit down on a bench outside the hospital to be alone together and promise not to leave each other, no matter what problems come their way. From that day on, Huang starts practicing hard from morning to night and is promoted to the top 5 players on the team. Meanwhile, the best friends visit Yujing and learn that her mother is finally going to have surgery. Soon, the school holds a shooting competition. The friends cheer Huang on while Yujing watches on with her cell phone, since her mother is in surgery and she can't leave her. During the competition, the opponents fight each other, both singly and as a team. In the end, Huang comes in third place and his team wins. At the same time, the doctor informs Yujing that her mother's surgery was successful. At the same time, Guzia meets Yujing's half-brother. Ming strikes her as an interesting man and a romantic relationship develops between the pair. Noticing that the attraction is mutual, Yujing helps her best friend win her brother's heart. Soon Ming invites Gaozia on a first date, but rain spoils the outing. Despite this, the pair grow closer and realize that their feelings are mutual. The next morning, the sports shooting team learns that journalists have published an article about them. They are called bullies and egoists, and the worst is considered Huan, which offends guys. After a little thought, Huan guesses that the article was ordered by a jealous cousin. Huan becomes a victim of gossip and discussions, but the coach is not going to give up an important member of the team, only punishing him with even harder training. The guy is subjected to unrealistic loads, and Yujing sympathizes with him, but Huan is not going to give up. Soon he meets his cousin and provokes a conflict, but Han restrains his emotions and leaves without paying attention to them. Afterwards, the friends who run the jewelry parlor unite to fight back against Han's relative. Yujing asks to get away from her boyfriend. At the same time, Huang finds himself in front of the teachers and is explained because of the journalist's latest publication. Back at the jewelry showroom, Huang suggests to his cousin to stop fighting and go to meet his dream. Yujing's mother recovers and is discharged from the hospital. The woman changes her attitude towards Huang and apologizes to her daughter for meddling in her personal life. Yujing meets with her father, his wife and half-brother to thank the head of the family for finding a surgeon for her mother. The girl promises to socialize with them more and come to visit, as her father is her family, despite the quarrels and disagreements. A few days later, Yuking and Huang go to the beach, but the hotel is full, so they have to camp right on the beach. At dawn, the couple watches the sun rise as Yujing suddenly confesses that she is sad. Her mother used to order her around and tell her how to live, but now the girl has become independent and doesn't understand what to do next. Huan hugs her and promises to always be there for her, after which the couple goes to a jewelry salon, where the guy buys a silver ornament in the form of a dove with spread wings. Soon the teacher calls Huan and informs him that the university committee decided not to expel him, so he can continue studying and preparing for competitions as a member of the shooting sports team. The next morning, Huan returns to training and attaches a silver dove to his gun for good luck. A little later, the guy runs into an old friend of his uncle, who offers to join his jewelry company to present his late relative's work to the world. The offer is tempting, but Huan still refuses, believing that his uncle's labor was unique. It soon turns out that this man is a terrible person, because he accuses Huan and his late uncle of plagiarism, providing documents proving that they copied his work. As a result, Huan is not only forced to close the jewelry salon, but also to return the money to the upset customers. The tenant promises to kick Huang and his cousin out if they don't pay the next month's rent. Ming becomes Huang and Yujing's lawyer to win the case. The girl's half-brother informs them that in order to do so, they need to prove that the design was made by the guy's late uncle. The friends start researching forums and websites, and as a result they find a photo of the house where Huang's uncle lived. After traveling there, they receive a call from Huan's cousin who has information that confirms the authenticity of the products. Huan meets with the cousin and asks to see the photos and documents that protect the honorable name of the deceased relative. After getting everything he needs, Huan gives the documents to Ming to start preparing a countersuit. Soon they win in court, and Huan thanks his cousin for his help, offering him to continue working at the jewelry salon. Huang realizes that he is ready to forgive his evil brother, and he, in turn, decides not to leave the jewelry shop and reconcile with his bully relative. Having met Yujing, her boyfriend's cousin gives the girl an ancient lamp created by her late uncle. After apologizing for his actions, the boyfriend leaves. A little later, Yujing decides to participate in the financial innovation program, thanks to which she can get a good scholarship. The award is given to the best students and it is necessary to pass the exam, so the girl begins active preparation. Meanwhile, Ning informs Huan that she will soon leave the shooting sports team and sees him as her successor. The student is going to graduate school and does not want to play sports, so he is ready to make Huan captain as soon as he is ready for it. The next morning, Huan invites Yujing to a special room in the library where the couple watches the whales swimming and listens to the sounds they use to communicate with each other. In this special setting, the guy gives the girl a box, inside of which is a silver piece of jewelry with a pendant in the shape of a whale. According to Huang, the whale is a symbol of a strong and brave man, as powerful as a sea dweller. Yujing can't sleep and thinks a lot, after which she decides to change her career. Because she likes organizing the exhibition. She transfers to the Faculty of Digital Marketing and passes the exams, and Huang becomes the new captain of the team. After their studies, the couple meet near the soccer field and exchange the latest news. A few months later, the varsity shooting team wins many gold medals. Yujing devotes herself to her studies and her relationship with Huang. One day it becomes known that the old jewelry store is to be demolished. The student who learned this calls his friends, but only Yujing comes to the meeting. The guy is sad that they are not going as they used to and they don't have that dedication in them. Soon all the friends find out that the store is going to be torn down. After buying food, they go to the abandoned building to have their last meal there and spend a few minutes where their journey into adulthood began. The friends have fun chatting like in the old days and realize that their youth is becoming a thing of the past. A couple days later, Yuqing packs up and moves out of the dormitory, saying goodbye to her friends. Yuqing and Huang rent an apartment to live together. A few years later, they graduate from university and take photos together with their friends. Enjoying their last student photo shoot, the friends realize that adulthood, full of adventure and love, has arrived.